I'm Caroline. This is Charles.
Hello.
This is Ashley. Come closer, come closer,
Hello,
come closer. There she is. And we're going to answer your questions. You sent in loads of really good specific ones. I printed off like a few that I thought you'd all be interested in. What are your roles? Introduce yourselves. What are your roles? Ashley.
So I'm obviously Ashley, and my job is MPD and production manager. So what that basically means is I oversee kind of bringing the formula and the pack together, testing them, and then I'll go into what you do, but that's my bit, and then making sure we produce it and get it out and onto the website / wherever it's going. So that's basically my job, is the whole process, start to finish.
So I'm Charles. I'm the regulatory compliance officer, and it's my job to make sure we meet all the regulatory requirements, stay informed on all any regulatory updates, technical updates.
Shout at people like me when I say I've had an idea. What does that make you do? Also, Ashley, you're going to love this. The lady on the end looks like Lily James.
Thank you.
She's going to be on here all the time now.
Ashley, can you tell us what you've been developing? Nice try. They are worse than me.
Oh, no.
Their office locks, like literally lock and key. How did you get into your careers? What are your qualifications?
So I'll be transparent and say that this was a complete mistake, and...
Working for me or just in general?
Working... No, I'm joking. So...
are you and Ashley related? You both look so alike. No.
Unfortunately not. So I went and did a degree, didn't know what I wanted to do with the degree.
A degree in science?
Biochemistry.
Biochemistry.
Degree in biochemistry. Didn't know what I wanted to do, so then did a master's in biochemistry. Not because I wanted to do the master's, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then had to get a job. So I ended up in beauty packaging is how I started. So I started up in packaging, then moved over to obviously doing formulations, which is kind of what my degree relates to primarily. And then moved over to MPD here, which is obviously overseeing all of it, because I just love the entire process. So that's...
Even the bits when I come in and go, Ash, I've had an idea.
Yes, because I'll just say, that's not an idea.
What about if I go, what if you go, this is amazing, try it, and I go, yeah, it didn't do that for me. You go, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Charles, what is your actual name?
Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Charlie. You are Charlie.
Yeah, it's Charlie. It's not Charlotte.
So that's interesting because I think Charlie is a Charlotte.
I don't think she
is. She Charlie too? You're both Charlie, so this is why Charlie is Charles.
Right.
How did you get into your career? What did you do at school?
So I did biochem at uni also. I only did the one degree, I did not do the masters. Because I quickly discovered that lab work and research was not for me.
Not my bag, yeah.
Not my bag. And regs covered sort of both sides. And then I happened into the cosmetic industry because it's much more exciting.
Oh, Charlie's said we're both Charlies, just to clarify.
Oh!
Two Charlies.
I'd say the difference with
I've
us...
never met another one.
You're not? No. I'd say the difference... So we've obviously got very similar backgrounds, but just the way our personalities are...
Yeah.
Charles is very good with the regulatory, by-the-book things.
I like a yes-no to-do list.
Very logical, clinical, whereas I like the whole shebang.
You like the fluffy and the whimsical, we could do this, and you like the grounded, you can't do that and you can't say that, don't ever do that again.
Yeah. But also not fluff with regards to skincare.
No.
I just like the pretty bits.
The pretty bits.
You like the pretty bits. You literally just said,
pretty bits.
I just like the pretty bits.
I like the pretty bits. As you might know, we are from a similar area originally.
Such amazing, talented women working for you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, we have got some fantastic questions. Strap yourselves in. Ha ha. I showed the guys a few and they were like, but if we say that, we might. I'm like, guys, you won't get sued. I will. Relax. What are the most common lies that consumers are told that we should never believe? Now, I don't know what they're going to say. We haven't consulted.
No, we have not.
We have not conferred. It's like Britain's Got Talent. I would say most common lie consumers are told that we should never believe. For me, my number one thing that came to my head was goes deep into the dermis or penetrates deeper than so-and-so because that needs a needle. Or a scalpel, frankly. Ladies?
You go.
I don't like free-from claims that promote safety concerns. Our industry is one of the most regulated. An ingredient can't go in a cosmetic that's legally sold if it's going to cause you harm.
If it's the T word, toxic.
If it's toxic.
Toxic.
That just makes me put my head in my hands.
Yeah,
that just makes me want to put my head in my hands.
I have hundreds, but at the moment, it's 100% sustainable, I heard today. 100% sustainable.
No, like tell
If
them
you were
tell them where you've been.
100%
You don't have to say who it
sorry,
was, but tell them where you've been.
I've been at London Packaging Week, which is basically a convention for
So exciting.
labels, cartons, packaging, the not so pretty
Material.
bits. Material.
I work in MPD at Joe Loves. This is absolutely brilliant. Well done, ladies.
Oh, thank you. Clean beauty, good point.
Well, hey,
That's a whole
Clean
other-
beauty does go to that saying, surely, no?
Yeah, we don't need to mention that one.
No.
100% sustainable is a problem because if you were truly going down that route, we wouldn't even have this industry.
No. The minute you
Hate-
the minute you
hate
make
that.
a brand, you're not You're
Yeah.
not like you're putting a carbon
Yeah.
footprint out there. You're making an imprint.
100%. And so
So
you
you do what you can, but to say that you're carbon neutral or carbon negative,
or 100% sustainable.
100% sustainable.
And my other one isn't a lie, but it's misleading. It's natural origin.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, don't
that
get
we
Ashley started.
We discovered that yesterday.
So the issue is, for me, natural is not better than synthetic. So
Lean in and say it again.
natural is not better than synthetic. It's that argument. But the natural origin is basically when brands say they're natural and then they'll have a little asterisk that says natural origin, it basically means at some point it was a plant or something natural, but it will have been chemically processed. It's Charles from Bristol.
It's Charles from Bristol,
Yeah.
definitely. Yes.
It would have been chemically processed to the point it's now synthetic. So natural origin doesn't mean it's 100% natural. So that, for me, is just misleading.
It's like saying, as I said once in a meeting a few years ago that Al still uses, there's no carrot in this yogurt. Why would you have a yogurt with carrot in it?
Yeah, and it's fine to say, natural origin. It's just the caveats and just say, I don't know, I just don't like how.
Or as I said yesterday, like this packaging, this box, it used to be a tree.
Yeah,
It ain't now.
yeah.
Seriously good eyebrows going down, guys. Oh, thank you very much.
But I know from a regulatory perspective, natural is another one. There are regulatory kind of regulations.
Yeah.
Regulatory regulations, you can tell, is not my thing.
Regulatory.
Regulatory guidelines that people do meet. However, it's just the natural origin, and then as soon as it's been processed to a certain degree, it's no longer natural. So for me, I just hate that entire thing. And generally, natural is not better than synthetic. I will always champion synthetic, most of the time anyway. So there's many inherent problems with
Should we
natural.
do a little caveat? I'm just spilt Coca-Cola on my desk, so I'm just wiping out while we're here. Can we just do a little divert? Because I've still got the notes. I'm not going off topic, don't worry.
Okay.
As I say in nearly every meeting with these guys, I'm not going to go off topic, I promise. When it comes to fragrance, natural versus synthetic, just a sentence from you each, maybe, on when everyone says it's only natural fragrance.
So, natural fragrances...
Ashley is a mini Caroline. I'm so sorry, Ashley. I can only apologise. They like the fact that you're like, and the bun. It didn't help that we both have a bun.
Yeah, so natural fragrances tend to be essential oils, whereas synthetic obviously won't be, and also takes a lot of the irritants out. So I prefer synthetic fragrance generally.
There you go. Yes, we will. Someone's put dung as a natural fragrance.
And that's the other thing. So there's fragrance and fragrance free, but then everything has a fragrance. So when we talk about fragrance free, it's like if you see parfum or if you see essential oils. That's another thing just to highlight.
See, I told you, don't get them started. You see?
Yeah, you can tell.
I love this. It's when you ask them questions and they both take this big in-breath of annoyance before starting to answer. Oh, we will be doing them regularly. They're going to have a regular slot. In fact, if you would like to put names forward for what we call our regular slot, you're more than welcome to. The Hiram's Army, bring out skincare at your own risk. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
What is the most challenging ingredient to keep stable?
So I think the best way to address this is you have ingredients that are hard to formulate with. And then
Azelaic.
Azelaic, vitamin C if you want to put it in water, so anything like that. So there's that stage, but then there's the how do you keep a formula stable. So there'll be ingredients hard to formulate with, but then you have to then make sure the formula itself is stable. But as long as people do all the stability testing, which is basically where you have to...
We'll come back to that in detail for sure.
But yeah, azelaic, vitamin C, vitamin A, but there's a big difference between an ingredient that's hard to formulate with as a chemist and then when you actually have to stability test how that ingredient performs in a formula. Sorry, that's not very helpful.
No, we're going to come back. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hirons. Oh, they're doing the names. Right. Anything to add to that, or you would agree and concur?
No, I would agree. I don't really formulate. I am a paper formulation person.
You love it. Oh,
love a paper
I will tell you. So here's what you'll love. Right, it's the best. One of my favourite parts of the day is when I get into the office and I have Lulu. Well, obviously KGs, of course. Lulu will go, see this is coming. Do you want to see it? I go, yes, please. And I look at it and I read the claim and I go, be right back. And I do the walk because their office is right at the other end.
And we go, oh shit.
I do the walk and they see me coming. And I go, Ashley or Charles, because she sits around the corner and I can't see her always. And you hear, yeah. And I go, got something for you. and I put it down and I go, could you take this apart, please?
And we love it.
And they go, oh, lovely. And then usually the first thing they do, because we tend to spot the same things, is they'll turn something over and go, oh, but why have they said that? And I go, and there you are. There we go.
It all comes from a frustration as a consumer.
As does mine.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say formula is king? Well, first of all, I started to say formula is queen. Let's just get that right. What I mean by that is I get really, really tired of the industry just talking about percentages and strength of things, because you could put 10% of a retinoid into a base that wouldn't keep it stable, for example, and it would be nothing. You could put 20% of something. I've never felt less intelligent.
This is all an act.
I have this every day. Like Meryl Streep's character in The Devil Wears Prada. I'm not that bad, am I?
No.
So.
I am if it's third party and outside, but not you guys.
I say same standards.
Same
just
standards?
Don't deliver them in the same way.
No, I'm like, do you think we could do this for science? And they'll go, see, I don't know if, and I go, please, and they go,
And you
okay,
do it
fine.
with a smile, see?
I always do it with a smile.
And we're not Emily's. Like, we're,
No.
we're not the Emily's. No.
Can I just say a sentence and you guys can laugh or just give your natural response? Can the segment be called You Can't Say That? I love that. You can't say that with Charles and
Yeah.
Ashley. 1 + 1 = 3, yeah. Can I just say a statement? Oh, no, I was going to say, I've totally forgot, it's gone up my head. Oh, no, I was going to, oh God, it's gone.
Oh God, it'll come back.
It does come back. This happens about 20 times a meeting as well.
To me, formula is king/queen/ whatever you want it to be. Is you put money into the formula, it works. There's no tipplings of ingredients, so without throwing shade on the entire industry,
Angel dusting.
angel dusting.
Which they'll know about if they read my book. You can tell the kids, the
Yes.
kids, as in these two, haven't read my book. It's fine, carry on.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
no.
That's what I was going to say. It's just come back to me and this proves it perfectly.
Tangent.
Tangent, no, but still. Would you say that I surround myself with yes people?
No.
No. No.
Would you say that if I say I want to do something or I love something, whatever, that you are both more than comfortable to go, are you actually okay in the head?
Yeah. Yeah. More than happy. More than happy.
And they do.
Yeah.
And they do. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Do carry on, I'll shut up. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, no angel dusting. It's purely putting things in. So when you put ingredients into a formula, the suppliers will give you a recommended input that they'll have tested it at. So formula is king is basically putting those recommended levels in, if not more, in some cases. And the other thing about formula being
And in
queen,
the optimum base to make it work.
base, yeah, there's lots to it, but it's basically just putting everything behind making that as efficacious as possible, but also hand in hand with that is communication is key. So the amount of times that you see these great formulas and it'll just have this fluffy claims around it. So it's all about good communication and just put all the money into the formula.
And transparency. There are so many BS claims. Are there any repercussions? So this is repercussions on claims, not on like a bad product which is separate.
No. I think probably the worst thing is just a general bad publicity. No brand wants bad publicity. As repercussions, so our industry, like I said, is really regulated, including the claims. We've got set standards we have to meet, but it's somewhat self-regulated, which means the onus is on us to all follow the guidelines correctly. So if we get flagged, we are expected to provide all the evidence. So you only get repercussions if the brand cannot come back with said evidence.
I'd also say a repercussion is brand loyalty and brand trust because consumers know what they're doing. So you might push out something that obviously sounds great initially, but consumers know what they're doing. So I think
that's the biggest
the
thing.
repercussion is your brand will fail.
You're much more blunder than I am.
That's quite blunt. I do apologise.
I'm a peacekeeper.
And not with me, you're not. You're the cause of my aggro.
She's a Libra.
She's very much a Libra. We are not. You are a?
I'm a Taurus, but rising Sag.
That sounds like a T-shirt. Rising Sag. And I'm a Leo, obviously. If a product didn't do what it claims, can I sue? Molly. Oi, oi. Molly is the third part of this team. We will have Molly in another one as well.
That's a you question.
If a product didn't do what it claims, can I sue? I will caveat that by saying in the UK, and then we'll do the USA.
Okay. In the UK, no. Every claim is different. Every product's different. Every person's skin's different. if it just unfortunately doesn't work for you, it unfortunately doesn't work for you.
You have never sounded more like Pam Ayres than in that moment.
I
If
don't
it
know who that
unfortunately
is.
didn't work for you, it didn't work for you.
For you, my lover, it don't work.
In America, however,
Yes,
in America you can sue.
you get sued for everything in America.
If this is
scary,
America,
scary
I would
place.
sue.
So brands can be sued in the States if they make a claim. So if someone has used your product for however long, it has happened to brands. It's happened to people like Sunday, as in Sunday Riley, and like L'Oreal for like the eyelashes. So you can get sued for things like the eyelash inserts that they have in mascara ads. That happened with a mascara, and then someone got in trouble. Some big person got in trouble, like big brand got in trouble, and then from now on, if you look in the UK, it will say in very, very small print at the bottom of the mascara ad, the model shown has a CGI effect on her lashes, or the model shown is, blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, Simon.
What's he saying?
Sorry, Simon.
Apparently I was rustling.
Stop rustling and clicking your pen, please, for the audio. This is how bossy my team are. They come into the live and
Sorry,
say, can you
Simon.
just do that?
Sorry,
Sorry, Simon. I just deafened him, and he deserves it. False advertising. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so are we happy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Moving on. Okay, what is the most outrageous claim you've seen so far?
Do you want me to go?
Please start.
Yeah, you
So-
start.
Here we go. Yeah, Ranella. America, land of the free, home of litigation.
Mine isn't. It's not a claim as such, but it is. But basically, I don't want to call it a brand, but a brand basically says that CBD does something to the nervous system.
Don't know it's Kate Moss because I told you that yesterday. I literally did it yesterday, Ash.
So my issue with that is what the relevance of your nervous system receptors to a skincare product to me
pissed now.
is just ludicrous. Although it's not a claim because they've been very clever how
They
they
were
worded
very
it.
clever with the wording.
Very clever. It just says CBD does this, however on the skin it does this. It's literally the most irrelevant statement.
It's like saying this car will get you to Chelsea, however we're going in the direction of Streatham.
Yeah.
It's a very UK,
Yeah.
London specific.
That for me is the most outrageous, to reference the nervous system.
I think I just don't like anything that...
I just don't like anything. That's Charles in a nutshell.
I don't like anything that baffles the consumer with aggressive or exaggerated scientific terms which don't really mean anything and not going to mean anything to them, but it makes it sound more impressive.
Yeah, it's like ingredient washing. Science washing, I don't know. There's some sort of
Science washing, yeah. We'll call it
Science washing. Wick, can we trademark that, please?
Science washing.
My team, can we trademark science washing?
Science washing.
We'll add it to the list.
Any regulation of what is in a clinical study, do you have to meet standards?
Yes.
Could you just give us a brief overview of clinical study versus clinical trial?
So, clinical trial is typically instrumental and quantitatively measured, so you'll get a numerical figure at the end of it, and it's typically something that, say, your average consumer wouldn't necessarily notice. Like you can't measure that your skin moisturisation has increased by 20%. A clinical study normally tagged on to the end of such trials, which is when they'll get asked their opinion of something at the end. Did you notice your skin was moisturised?
So the first one is the gold standard.
Yeah, but it's all done, if it's got the word clinical in it, regardless if it's a study or trial, it's done under clinical conditions.
But,
Instrumental is the best.
which is trial.
Yeah.
And it should have the correct sort of bits underneath, how many people it was tested on,
Yeah,
over what
exactly.
period of
Yeah.
time, blah, blah, blah. Is an inky list in order?
Yes. I have to declare the ingredients in descending order up to 1%.
And then after 1%, what happens?
They can be in any order.
Yeah. But don't think reading an inky means that you can work out every single percentage. And also don't always go with, oh, it has vitamin C in it, it must be good, because you've got to look at formulas as a whole. So there'll be booster ingredients in there. So don't always go, oh, this has 2% this, and think that that's the exact equivalent of another brand, because it won't be.
Yeah, you're
Meaning-
not supposed to be able to work out how to make the formula
No,
from an inky.
it's
You're
like
supposed to be able to-
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can roughly gauge things, but yeah, it's not an exact science.
Why are some brands cheaper than others when they use similar ingredients? That's a good tie-in.
So generally, cheaper formula, cheaper packaging will give you a cheaper cost of good. So that's the general, obviously the more money you put in your formula and pack, the more expensive it gets. But it gets complicated because brands at their discretion will add a margin, and they could do anything that they want to. Also, the bigger brands will be able to order a lot more, which will make the cost of making them a lot less. So
Think of it as Costco. You buy more, you buy bigger, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You buy one, you go into Marks and Spencer's and buy one, what do they have in there that's going to be cheap? And got bin bag, a packet of bin bags, and it'll be like £4 or £5. You go to Costco and buy 20 packets of bin bags and it might be £10.
Yeah.
You pay more, But you get so much out of it.
Yes, you do. But I would say, as much as there are probably brands out there that overprice things, generally the more you pay, you do tend to get the better ingredients and packaging, etc.
Everything has a cap, obviously. Everything has a cap.
Yeah.
So
unless it's kind of really high volume budget, then yeah, always a little bit more expensive, I'd say, is better quality.
But you don't have to spend £500.
No. There's nothing should be £500. That's a whole different topic. Sorry, Brad.
There ain't nothing. There ain't nothing that will be £500.
There ain't nothing, my loves.
Are there brands worth shouting about?
Skin Rocks.
Yeah, watch this space.
Watch this space. That's all I'm going to say. I forgot about all other brands, I'll be totally honest. This isn't me plugging it. This is genuinely. We said. Didn't
No,
we?
we did actually sit down before this.
What are brands? Who are brands? Don't know what a brand
Isn't
is.
she good?
But yeah, I'd say. There's not many brands that are inspiring me, really.
Okay, so not about inspiring. What about brands you can trust to not make claims that they can't legally substantiate? I'll go. I would trust Lauder because Lauder are so by the book. I cannot tell you. Lauder were the first, as a group, Estee Lauder companies were the first people to sort of say, if you're going to put this on your Insta, you need to tell people we've given it to you. Like they're on it.
Yeah, I would say I like French pharmacy brands. Any brand that doesn't talk about fluffy marketing on the back. This ingredient.
This is what it is. This is what it does.
Yeah, this has changed your life. It will do this. It will do that. None of those.
Yeah.
What
Anything
about
clinical.
ethical tears of Chios?
No
I
comment.
didn't realise there were tears that were ethical.
Mythical.
Mythical.
Ethical and mythical.
Mythical. Is it ethical? Who knows?
Very good. Team thoughts on Trinny? Because we were asked this a lot, so I stuck it in.
Love the packaging. Absolutely love the packaging.
Good formulas, solid
Good
formulas.
Formulas look lovely on paper.
Formulas look lovely on
paper.
paper. That's literally a
good.
Lifetime Achievement Award from Charles, as you may have gathered.
Yeah, there's clearly been good innovation. It's not run of the mill. There's been some good work put in. I like the fact it's not 30 products as well. So yeah, all in all, it's a thumbs up from us.
Thumbs up for Trinny. You have to leave, don't you?
We have to leave to run away from Kate Moss.
Are you both going now? You're
No,
leaving
I
me.
can
Stay if you want.
Come on, Charles, stay. Ashley has a
everyone.
train to get. Bye, Ashley.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye, Ash. Make sure you take your mic off before you go for a wee. Learned from me. And shout out to KG. We can pull our chairs in now. Oh. Shout out to KG who came and stuck 5 minutes through the door.
Very good.
Push that one over and we'll get rid and we'll push these over. Right, we're up to speed. And if you've got any more questions, go for it. We can do like another 10, 15 because I do want to actually be able to go home. Charles is like, no, I'm fine. No. Go for it. Brad Pitt's line. I think it's the Pitts. And I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But I don't care. And I won't be buying it. And please don't send it to me because I won't cover it. I very rarely... I never say that.
No, you
I
don't.
never say that. We love your staff. I love my staff. They're wicked. Have you ever looked at a product and thought it was perfect?
No.
But that was going back and forth together.
No.
Look, row.
I haven't got my glasses on.
I ain't got my glasses on. Have I ever looked at a brand and thought it was perfect? I think Trinny's quite close to perfect
Yeah.
in terms of like messaging, not bullshitting. This
Yeah,
is
it's
what it
quite clear
does.
and-
Very clear, beautiful packaging, proper formulaic. Like, you know, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's like perfection. This is not an ad. She is my friend, but I would say. But I think, let's just say she's done a very good job. How's that? Serums, why such huge price differences between brands? Kind of what Ashley was saying earlier.
Yeah. It'll just
Percentages
be
of
the
actives.
Percentage of active mainly. Sometimes it's the packaging, but it'll mainly be with serums. When they're treatment serums, it'll be the percentage of active and how much investment has gone into it.
So brands like The Ordinary and The Inky List are still good even with the low price point? Yes. The way they keep the costs down is that they order, and this is a fair comparison between like a Stella McCartney, just as an example, because this is by no means the most expensive product on the market, not by a long shot. I think actually around 80 to 100 quid, because of everything that's going on with pricing, is going to become like the new mid-range, don't you? It's like everything's heading that way. So how they're so cheap, inexpensive, good one, nice way to put it. The Ordinary, the Inky and Naturium, how are they so affordable?
Yeah.
You go and then I'll go.
How are they so affordable?
Yes, as in the bulk and the buying and the...
Yeah, because they buy it and they meet their large MOQs. They send it out everywhere.
MOQ.
Minimum order quantity. And yeah, they just buy a lot more.
They buy a lot more.
And then sell it really quickly.
And if you think about The Ordinary and the Inky, a lot of their packaging is exactly the same. And then they just overprint, overlabel what it is. So all the packaging is in similar, all of the products are in similar packaging. So they probably have to buy 500,000 tubes, 500,000 pumps, 500,000 pots, whatever. None of them do pots, but you know what I mean. And that Charles's position is seated. And that brings the cost right down.
Yeah.
Right down. Whereas Stella, in Stella's defence, her whole range looks like it's been tooled. What does tooled mean first?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, their packaging is specific to them.
They've had to have it
They've gone and made the mould to make the plastic.
Which is very expensive.
Very expensive.
Very expensive. Whereas if we could go to any packaging manufacturer across the road today and buy the tubes and the standard pumps, and they would be how much for, I mean, like it's very rough, but like, you know, someone, the difference between ordering 3,000 of these and 500,000 white tubes.
It's a big difference.
The white tubes would probably be what, less than a penny? A penny?
Yeah,
Like
if
a
you're
penny.
ordering that many.
If you're ordering that many, like you're talking less than a penny. And then if you're ordering this, it's going to be, I reckon,
Significantly more than a penny.
like we're talking pounds, which is a big difference. As a compliance manager in another industry, we don't say no if we're engaged.
Thank you! We don't
life.
like saying no. We're nice people.
They're very nice people. Selling at Target in the US means selling a ton of product. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if someone is in a big retailer, if a brand is sold in Boots, Superdrug, any supermarket, Target, Walmart, CVS, anything that is basically a pharmacy or a supermarket or a mass seller, they should have them. They should have had, their products will probably be more affordable to make. I'm not saying they're cheap. I'm saying more affordable to make than something that is sold exclusively in a more high-end store like a Space NK. And that is why it is more expensive. So obviously the packaging does come into it, but the juice, you know, I have no doubt, and the only reason I'm keep talking about Stella is because it's here from last night. This is not me, and this is all good stuff I'm saying about it. So I have no doubt that the ingredients in this were more expensive than the ingredients in a lot of the more affordable ranges. That's not to say it's better or it's better to treat a certain skin condition or that kind of thing. Would you agree?
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into a cost of goods, and it's not just one thing. You can't just pinpoint one thing.
Not just one thing. We pay for advertising. That's not entirely true, if you think about it. Yes, there will be, I think that's something that, I think that is something that particularly brands who've made dupes have put out there. So if you think about like Revolution or Aldi, or who else does dupes?
I've had a complete mind blank now.
So have I. But that kind of thing, and I'm not slagging them off, I'm just saying that when they say, oh, it's all made at the same factory.
Yeah.
Watch her face go. She's like, no, it's not. It's all made at the same factory. And what else do they say? It's all made at the same factory. It's all the same ingredients. So the best way to describe it is if you're making a cake, right? If you're making a cake, Primark, there you go. If you're making a cake, you have flour, sugar, you might have baking powder, baking soda, whatever. You tweak any of those ingredients and you've either got a flat cake, a very high cake, an okay cake, a dry cake, a really greasy cake. So looking at, say, even 5 key ingredients makes no difference to how that formula is going to be. Like you can have, the original could be here and you could have the dupe here. They might all have the same 5 ingredients, but they will be completely different product.
Yeah. Even just because they feel like the same texture doesn't mean they're the same.
Texture is nothing. It's about the formula. Okay?
Yep.
Lovely. Yes, Zara do perfume dupes. Yeah, perfume is not my area of expertise, but I would. What I can tell you about perfume is, obviously, with a lot of them, the main ingredient is alcohol. We know that. That's fine. But the flowers and the extracts they use are wildly different. So if you think of Chanel and Guerlain, for example, they have their own flower gardens. They have their own rose gardens in France, and you can go and see them. Obviously, you can't just pop in and walk around, but they have their own farms, essentially. And those roses are, for example, roses are grown to their maximum point of being juicy, in bloom, and they're seen as like the gold standard. Grass in France is like the gold standard for fragrance, right? You can make a rose fragrance with a rose synthetic smell. It ain't gonna be the same as Chanel or Guerlain. Is it, Charles? No. Naturium retinaldehyde is a lot cheaper than other brands such as Medik8, but how is it worth it? Well, again, Naturium is a mass brand, Medik8 is not. So in the industry, you have mass and prestige.
Yeah.
Mass is The Ordinary, Inky, Naturium, Avène, La Roche-Posay, anything you buy in a French pharmacy, that kind of thing. Prestige is anything you would buy in Space NK or Nordstrom, not so much Bergdorf, if you're, that kind of thing. And then sometimes in the middle you get Mastige, which they try to bring as a new one, which is we're really prestigious, but we make a lot of it.
Yeah.
I actually think Naturium would put themselves in there, personally. I've never had this conversation, I'm just guessing. But so you have mass and prestige. And obviously, like I've always said, brands have every right to put themselves into whatever category they want. They can charge themselves, they can charge whatever they want for their product. And you as the consumer decide what you want to go with your wallet.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely differentiate between, well, that's a mass brand, that's going to be more affordable. This is a prestigious brand. And sometimes it's called prestige, but it's actually corporate, big corporate, if you think of the big ones. So it depends on, it depends on the product. It always depends on the brand and the product. Beauty Pie claim it's all made in the same factory, so why are they different to Aldi, etc.? I don't know if they do, but I have seen them say things like it's all made in the same factory.
Yeah.
But the other thing to remember is it doesn't matter if it's all made in the same factory. It's the componentry and the ingredients that the factory is just the manufacturer. The chemist at the beginning and the formula, the recipe, the recipe is what matters, not where it's made. So if you think, I'll give you an example. I'm sure for a while, Rolls-Royce and Minis were made in the same factory. Both cars. A Mini is not duped for a Rolls-Royce because they're made in the same factory. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense.
That's a good way of putting it, actually.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
I have those moments of clarity sometimes. The Beauty Pie always compare themselves to others. She said the other day their bronzer is better than Charlotte Tilbury, but it's the same. See, I don't agree with that personally. I don't agree with brands saying we're better than this, we're better than that. It's not. So when people say it's all made in the same factory, it might well be. But like we know going into making our product, don't forget not to say anything, where it's made and what other brands they make. But the products are completely different. Yeah. It goes from like super affordable in here and then in the middle and then high end.
Yeah. It doesn't determine, just because it's the same factory does not determine.
Same factory means nothing. Again, it's almost a bit like, it's not science washing, it is a bit marketing though.
Yeah. It's just, I think the main thing is, it's just because consumers are getting more savvy and more intelligent and picking it apart. So we, as an industry, should promote transparency and clear communication.
We should promote transparency and clear communication. Charles, most challenging thing working in the industry? And then we'll probably wrap up.
Working in the industry, it's just dealing with like consumer misconception from bad publicity.
I was going to say, which isn't their fault.
Which isn't their fault. It's just bad publicity, like when the media will take a topic and run with it, but they've not necessarily read all the scientific literature. And you've got people like me who just really want them to have the right information. And and we get shouted at and it's not our fault.
As an industry, we get shouted at.
As an industry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, because I think one bad apple can spoil the bunch, and that's why I'm always like ready to sort of try and debunk. And so it's also trying to debunk with just facts and information and not so much emotion.
Yeah.
Make sense? Right, we will bring Charles and Ashley back. She has to go home.
I do.
I have to pay a lot of invoices. I'll put up times when we're going to get them back again. So thank you for your questions. We will get more coming, but we'll do it again. Maybe we'll just do it next week. Maybe we'll do it a weekly Wednesday. Yay! It's Wednesday BS. live or something. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.